recording the second game in this tournament. I'm Yoko Dunzo, and we have Kiseki playing Lion and Sir Voltar also playing Lion. Kiseki's deck is all about recurring your dead characters and using them as swords, and Sir Voltar's deck, if you saw the last video, is about attacking with a singular character and then basically being a bastard around that. We see a very heavy mulligan from Sir Voltar as well as from Kiseki. We see Kaide purchased with 2 fates. Personally, I prefer to see Kaide purchased with odd-numbered fate, although even is fine as long as you don't plan on buying anyone else with this. Presumably, we see Agatoki purchased naked, which is pretty telegraphing a for greater glory, which means we'll probably see the battle aspirant purchased as well. Yep, there's a pass, and so Voltar is going to have to hold fate to play the for greater glory. And I'm going to assume Kiseki has an against the waves. Buying both characters naked on Sir Voltar's part makes any defense difficult. I think I would have liked that play better if he was going first. That way he could overlay the Zentaro after the first conflict and still get all of the for greater glory goodness he's got in his hand. One little subtle thing both players will have to remember is that Ninkatoshi is a thing. It's not a great thing, but it's a thing. All of Sir Voltar's provinces are 1 weaker, and all of them on Kiseki's side are 1 stronger. Political water. Gonna have to see a defense. I think the smart play here is to bow out the Agatoki. Ooh, defending is rough. The battle or Bushido here pretty telegraphs Zentaro overlay, so keeping it dishonored is pretty good. Unfortunately, again, with the watering being conflict, Sir Voltar is only going to get 1 conflict after on this. Hey, he uses a call to war to protect Agatoki from the watering. It's a good trick. One thing I am curious about, though, and I'm not sure how the interactions go, Kaide can protect the Bushido adherent from being Zentaro'd, but since there's no cost difference, I don't think that actually accomplishes anything. It's a shame he couldn't push through a break on that. Getting rid of both those Zentardos would have been big. Oh, he is breaking it, because again, I forgot about Nikitoshi. Let's see if Sir Voltar remembers. Because this is kind of an important thing. We see both Zentaros die. I imagine there's some cursing going on their Discord channel. Sir Voltar doesn't curse, but I can pretend. You know, I don't know how I feel about Nikitoshi in general. It seems like it's really good if you're first player, less good if you're second. We see a pass from Kiseki and a pass from Sir Voltar. He's clearly going to go in with Agatoki. The For Greater Glory play shouldn't be done now. I would save that for next turn when you can get extra value from it, because as it currently stands, it's no different than if you had just put a fate on him during Dynasty. You start getting value out of it when you've got 2 to 3 characters plus attacking. Kiseki's deck is based around Line Shugenja, which is why you see the Sheikah Matchmaker. It is basically like anyone else that runs it, there for a Supernatural Storm buff. Oh, we see a Defend Your Honor against this. This is probably only going to end one way. Sir Voltar tried to pull a sneaky in case Kiseki bid 4. But Kiseki either resigned himself to the fact that it was cancelled or saw it coming. We see a Bonsai come down for a break, and he pays the honor to do it again. Ooh, we see an in-service instead. And since Ninkatoshi was going down, it might as well go down hard. At this point, Sir Voltar needs to strongly consider that for Greater Glory, it's actually not super worth it, but it does protect Agatoki from leaving play, and it looks like he decides to either bait the Void Ring or is just fine with it happening. I do think the correct play here for Kiseki is to go in on the Void Ring and just flatten Sir Voltar's board. Kiseki loses the court games from the Earth Ring, not a huge deal. And we do see him going Void to... Oh, but we see Spectral Visitations. And we see... So, given what's attacking, I would probably take the Suko and not defend. And then be tied on breaks. Because Suko can basically, and Sir Voltar defends. Defending Spectral Visitations I can see doing it if it would be your third province break, but defending it as your second, it feels bad, because now it's, I mean, he gets a fade out of it, that's the thing. Um, but now it's a safe place for Kaseki to go turn after turn, and so Voltar doesn't have a bot to start a conflict with. Kaseki should definitely let the Sheikah Matchmaker go. There's no point in shortening Kaide's life for that. Because of silly timing rules, if he doesn't trigger it now, Kaide lives next turn with no fate, and he lets the Matchmaker go. Overall, decent turn for both of them. I do think Sir Voltar should have not defended that and gone for a break. So we see Ujiaki, Gohei, and another Kaide dupe, which is really good. We see an adherent, a Mia Mystic, and another adherent for Sir Voltar. So we see an adherent come down with one. I see a Kaide dupe because that makes sense, given that, oh, he has a Suko in the bin, so we'll probably see the Spirit Caller come out with a bunch of fate, and Suko is turned on. Hands are equal, so Sir Voltar passes on that. Does not want to get a gifted tactician. Mia Mystic is fine to pass. I don't believe there's any super, well, no, there's no super critical attachments in Kaseki's deck. And we do see the Spirit Caller come out with some fate on it, and then we'll see a pass from Kaseki. For this deck, Gohei is there primarily for the Voice of the Ancestors because he works really good as a 3-1 attachment for 1. Kaseki drops to 3 because he wants to make sure Suko is turned on. So Voltar bids 5 because cards are good. Ujiaki tends to show up when you don't have the favor, unless you're playing against me. And then the turn you get the favor is immediately he shows up and you've got like, I don't know, a dozen fate, and makes my life sad. We've got Sir Voltar given a think about something. Agatoki being naked and less honorable means he's just stats. He passes. I assume Kaseki's going to pass as well. There's no reason to attack into. There's no reason to pre-play anything. Personally, I think Sir Voltar needs to focus on cracking the province. I would attack with both of them and use the Bushido Adherent to armor Agatoki. That way you can still get its use next turn. Giving your opponent a card can be painful. Fire feels an interesting choice. I probably would have gone Earth. Fate wasn't necessary. Void will be much more useful next turn. See Manicured Garden. So Kiseki will get Seeker Fate and then another Fate. It's the beauty of the Seeker of Air roll. You get money for days. We see a Kaide defense. I would probably use the Manicured Garden first action. Oh no, Agatoki's turned off. You can do whatever you want here. Defending with Kaide probably means he's got a Against the Waves in hand. And we see Kiseki having to think about this. Do not see them chatting in their Discord channel, but yep, he commits to the defense. Right now, oh, he calls in Suko now. Interesting. That feels like a very aggressive decision. Because you can Kaide Suko so she doesn't get removed by the Spirit Caller, but then she's still bowed. So there's probably, if there's an Against the Waves in his hand, he could use Against the Waves, straighten Kaide, win political attack, straighten Suko, and then break 2 provinces, which feels good. Plays a Walking the Way now, which is interesting. Feels like a thing that could have been done prior to see if you got a better character than Suko. And he pitches Tireless Soden Senzo and gets a Spirit Caller instead. You see a Prepared Ambush come down. Explains why it was light on the buys. So now we'll probably see a Bushido Adherent and the Gifted Tactician come in, leaving him enough money for Greater Glory. But that does kind of eat up all of his resources for return. We see Gifted Tactician come in, so you can get a card. Right now I don't think I don't know. Investing heavy into this just means if Kiseki does have the Against the Waves, you'll end up still losing the Agatoki, because Kiseki will go water, political, and military void. I just don't like the having to defend spectral visitations because it's going to be a free attack. Does the... Okay, he's at any time, so he can break the political province on his own. We do see the ever adherent come in. Honestly, at this point you're breaking, there is no reason to fire that adherent, because all you're going to do is give him a card, is give Kiseki a card. You see logistics move the ambush, so more value is better value. This will put Sir Voltar ahead on breaks. And well, they'll be tied on breaks. Kiseki will be first, so Voltar should probably defend Kiseki's attack here. This is all assuming that Kiseki has his Against the Waves or some conflict character, so Voltar's not going to really have anything that's useful fate-wise. Kiseki is having to think about this. I don't think there's a whole lot worth doing to stop it. Then again, I also don't remember what's in the deck 100%. So here's the question for Sir Voltar. Oh, he can't fire Agatoki, so question answered. I was wondering if it would be worth it to do anything with Agatoki, possibly move off onto a more useful province break. Manicure is well enough, and there's no real sense in risking a almost certain break, at this point a certain break, because running into Shameful would be really bad. We have currently waiting on Kiseki. And I guess while we wait, I'm gonna go pour me a drink and let my commentary get all kinds of unhinged as I drink more and more. of course, as soon as I step away, things happen. Let's see. Kiseki plays his Blade of 10,000 Battles and puts it on Kaide. And then Agatoki goes, cool story, bro, I got one too, and does the same thing. For anyone curious, I'm drinking a Lagavulin Scotch. It's from the Game of Thrones series. It's not my favorite that they do, but it's pretty cool because I like to pretend it's from when Game of Thrones was good, because it isn't, and ended badly. So Kiseki concedes the province. Sir Voltar should... Oh, he no longer has the money for greater glory. That is going to sting and end up hurting him. Ooh. He still gets the break. I can see why Blade of 10,000 Battles was played, because he was not breaking after Kiseki played his 10,000 Battles blade. But it does really sting. If you go by the math of a card is about a fate, Sir Voltar actually came out behind on this because he wasn't able to play the For Greater Glory, because he could have hard bought all those characters and just not played Prepared Ambush. So here I expect we'll see the saving of Suko, and now we're going to see Against the Waves. And we'll probably see Kiseki recur the Against the Waves when he wins this political conflict off the way to 10,000 Battles. Oh! We see a weak Goblin Scavenger instead. He's so wee. With In Service to My Lord, it's kind of like a Against the Waves. It just costs 2 cards. I think we're definitely going to see... Ooh, we see a Censure come down to stop the In Service. If Kiseki has another conflict character, we'll get to witness why In Service is such a bullshit card, and he does not. Sir Voltar definitely should swing Void here, get rid of that Kaide, because Kiseki went through trouble of voiding once. We go Water instead. That feels bad. And yeah, that does not feel good. We can see probably... Oh, yeah, we'll probably see the Voice of the Ancestors come out and defend, because that's the biggest one. Sir Voltar is limited on the options he has because he has no fate. But he does have the built-in we get the Tireless Soden Senzo, so he's probably going to defend. Does not defend. Oh wait, he hasn't assigned his defenders yet. I mean, I guess you defend with a certain Senzo, and then if you lose, but again, defending Spectral Visitations feels so bad. I do genuinely wish Sir Voltar had gone for Void. It would have made his life significantly easier next turn, because his board is largely going to evaporate. I don't think he can risk playing Call to War, because having Suko stick around with a 7-point armor differential is hard. Does not defend. That feels odd. Oh, because we see an in service to my lord. Because, and we see a second censure. Sometimes you have all the answers. Sir Voltar does need to be careful about firing that, because he could have given Kiseki the against the waves. We see Sir Voltar decide that risk is acceptable. Walking away happens. And what does Kiseki pick? Pitches a Sheikah Matchmaker and gets a Kudaka instead. She's on a broken province though, so I'm probably setting up next turn. Spectral Visitations goes. Prepared for Ambush eats it. And Agatoki stands up. But now we're definitely going to see Suko and Kaide stick around for a turn that they did not have to. He passes, making the Water Ring kind of pointless because he was going to get favor anyway. But the favor is less valuable now that 2 censures have been played. Sir Voltar's board evaporates. And Kaide saves the Suko. Oh, Kaide does not save the Suko. What just happened? I have to imagine that was a mistiming or not understanding, knowing how the Fate Phase rules go. Voice of the Ancestors can do a bunch of work now, because he's got a Go High in the trash can. So paying 1 Fate for playing 10,000 battle stats isn't too terrible. We see the Battle Aspirant get purchased. Meeting the Living Soul, we're going to see some ring resolution tricks. Or it could just be looking for Kiseki inching his way up. I think he wants to honor out on Sir Voltar. feels like an unnecessary flex, because what we can see here is a political attack with a Spirit Caller and a Kaide. Spirit Caller pulls. Well, Spirit Caller doesn't need to pull anyone, but this, you could Voice of the Ancestors that, pull in a Kudaka. I'm pretty sure I don't like that bid from Kiseki. Being down 4 cards is when you really start to feel it. You know, 1 or 2 cards, it's not the end of the world. Oh, we see a pacifism on the adherent. I kind of would have liked that better on the Bushido or the Battle Aspirant, just for continued value. Because right now you've paid 2 fate to stop 1 attack. The Battle Aspirant becomes less useful if he's pacified, because he can only participate in political conflicts, making his ability significantly less good. We do see Sir Voltar pass this, because there's not a whole lot he can do about it. We'll probably see the Against the Waves recurred. Oh, we don't see the Spirit Caller pull in Kudaka. I do not believe we've seen any of Sir Voltar's Train Splash. He's been bidden 5 the whole game though, so he's got to have it in hand. I mean, he's got 13 cards in hand. We see a 3rd Censure on the In Service to My Lord. I have to imagine that Kiseki is about fed up with that. Just a little. Good news is, there's no more in the deck, because we have seen all 3. Apparently, some people are just not allowed to service their lords. So we're probably going to see military conflict with the Aspirant. He is on box. So things can get awkward. And we do have 2 Spirit Callers. Fertile Fields. Pretty sure I had intended that to be in the row and Visitations on the box. But Kiseki gets all the money he wants. And a card out of this. I don't think you defend. It's just super not worth it. Because if you have to play any cards, or if you have to do anything, the Spirit Call is going to get bowed anyway. We see a Legion of 1 come down, likely to be kicked. That'll put him up to 10. which means Kiseki will have to play cards above and beyond the Spirit Caller to not lose here. It doesn't put him in a great spot, though. We see Asuko come in because she's the biggest body. Sir Voltar says, nah, that's cool. Turn her sideways. I do think that puts Kiseki into the GG mode. Next biggest one he can pull is a 3-cost, or is a 3 military force. And I don't know, but he has the necessary cards to stop a break here. Hey, guess what we're going to see? We're going to see an In Service to My Lord. Sir Voltar dropping the Prepared Ambush says he doesn't have to defend your honor. Kiseki probably kicking himself for not playing the Scavenger first. But this is the first instance of seeing his splash, so did not know. Yep, she stands. Sir Voltar can go up 6 more with what's on the table. I probably would not have played that character. I mean, it doesn't matter, but I would have passed because you were already breaking. Kiseki probably having to think about this. We see a bonsai come down. That is a good enough stopgap. Unfortunately, there is another 3 force coming down, so he will have to dig up at least 3 more. No, 2 more. Math is hard. He's got to dig up 3 more. Math is hard when you've been day drinking. It's a true story. I don't believe we've seen... We have not seen Fertile Fields draw its card yet, so there may be some answers there. Sir Voltar is out of fate, so perhaps some of his hand is now dead. There's 16 Forebears Echoes to pull in the voice. That will eat up all of his money. So now they are both on no funds. Voice of the Ancestors can only hit a lion character, so no free bodies as weapons. And Sir Voltar does not have the legs to do it. Kiseki manages to hold the line. That pretty much taps both players out. So, Spirit Caller should probably go water here. Because you can always pull in that for the Ujiaki. So Water Ring will definitely force a block. Because I don't think, with no fate, there's no political pumps that Sir Voltar can play. We see a Driven by Courage. So the Adherent is definitely going to stop the break here. Could see pulling in the Ujiaki. You definitely need something else above and beyond that. We see a Suko come in. She does not require that, so Court Games honors her. I don't know if I put Court Games in the other deck, so he passes, so that's a Driven by Courage that's broken. Board states aren't super hot for either player at the moment. And Kiseki wins, uses Suko to break. And so now the advantage is marginally on Sir Voltar's side, only because he has a Fated Adherent Aspirant. I get those two cards confused, because he can dictate what character can block, and if he has the issue a challenge, that is the only character that can block, and with Prepared Ambush he can just vomit as many guys onto that as he wants. Okay, flips. We see two Spirit Callers, a Toturi and a Mystic for Sir Voltar, and a Kudaka, a Medium of the Living Soul, or a Voice of the Ancestors, and a voice Medium of the Living Soul for Kiseki. We see Sir Voltar buying people naked, signaling he thinks the game is going to end this turn. He does have a bunch of big bodies in there. That makes that a reasonable decision. Not being first play. I don't know. I feel that no, I guess you did have to buy at least one Spirit Caller. Just in case a pacifism lands on the Aspirant. We're going to see Kiseki probably 5 a Kudaka and then weep a little bit because there is a Suko and another aspirant just sitting in the discard pile. Sir Voltor realizes that's all he needs to win. Buys him Meeting the Living Soul, so Kiseki probably has another in service in hand, or possibly the same one that's been denied. Nope, that one finally went through. And they pass. Here, I think you both bid 5, because this is the last turn. No fate on characters by both players acknowledges that. Not sure what people are thinking about. Sir Voltar basically just needs to walk forward to the aspirant. If he has issue a challenge, all the better. The Spirit Caller can be declared as a blocker. And then you just revive your dead people. Kiseki having to think. If he doesn't have the money for pacifism, that would have done a lot of work for him. But no pacifism or no money for pacifism. We see a Cloud the Mind on Spirit Caller. That'll make the numbers smaller, which is not insignificant. Kiseki thinking some more. I don't know that there's much pre-conflict that can be done here. And he passes, so now we're going to see Sir Voltar walk in. Ring of Capitalism is always a strong choice. Maybe he needs the money for things. And there's the issue of challenge, and the adherent, aspirant. The aspirant will get to decide who is a blocker, but Kiseki says no. I believe that's the first time he gets to say no, and Sir Voltar tries again. And Kiseki basically tells him no means no. And we see a third issue a challenge. Is there a third censure? There is not. So now we're going to see Kiseki has a Ujiaki in the bin, so this is probably not going to be a win for Sir Voltar. Yeah, because the most military he can bring in is 5. Ujiaki brings in a currently unknown amount. Oh, and we see the third censure. That could have been incredibly brutal. Hopefully Kiseki had that in hand and didn't luck into that on the Fertile Fields draw. Otherwise, he is a braver man than I. So I assume we're going to see the Spirit Caller pull in Ujiaki. Which we do. And I think a solid thing to do. Nice Seeker there. Sir Voltar can buy in the Mystic, which may be pertinent to his interests at the moment. We do have Kiseki levying a claim of slow play on Sir Voltar, because Sir Voltar has a newborn infant and is having to take care of it like a good parent. We'll just add some time on the clock. We see a Bonsai come down on the Aspirant. So Kiseki pulled in the Ujiaki, so there's no reason not to use it. That is not a great flip. That is actually hurtful. Personally, I think after seeing that, Sir Voltar should 100% turn that Spirit Caller sideways and pull a Netsuko and start threatening breaks. Favorable ground can pull in the Kudaka if needed, and it probably will be. Presumably baby issues are happening. Sir Voltar pulls in the Suko from the Spirit Caller. Kiseki is going to have to respond, even if it's with just a favorable ground to pull in Kudaka. No, we see a Bonsai instead, which works just as well. the important thing here is not necessarily to win the conflict, but to not lose the game. Obvious statements are in fact obvious. So Rolthar says, I got nothing left. Kiseki lets him have the Earth Ring, saving the favorable ground. So I assume Kiseki really just has to push here. Spirit Caller's been used. There's not enough fate for Forbearers. That being said, going Fire will give him the money to make the Samurai of Integrity a Sword of Integrity, which I think Kiseki sees. Decides to go military for the biggest advantage. He can always pull in the Medium of Living Soul if he feels like he needs it. So with what's on table, Kiseki is threatening a break. We see the bonsai come down. And kicked. Is there anything else that's more beneficial than Samurai to turn into a sword? Favorable grounds out. That makes the bonsai burned. So that means he's going to come in with 6 and the money to go up to 9. If Sir Voltar pitches the 2 cards to Dishonorable Assault, it's still a break. So now we're seeing a think. Does Sir Voltar think he has the gas to break a 5 on political? He plays a Master of the Spear, so I think he thinks he does. There's no reason why you wouldn't play that. Perhaps he's planning on going water to bow out Kudaka. That is risky though. I mean, the only reason you play that before your conflict is because you want to declare a conflict. The character is expensive for its stats. It's more for its ability while attacking. Not having the money to purchase in another character for prepared ambush stings a little bit. I wonder if Sir Voltar is seeing the Samurai of Integrity being turned into a sword, because that will break on political if he doesn't defend. Time has expired, but no one cares. Pass, pass. Does Sir Voltar do an attack? We do see political water with no money. Kiseki should let this go and then do the, fuse a samurai of integrity's soul into a sword and use that to break. Oh no, you can't break the dishonorable assault with that if he bows. Kudaka, because of dishonorable assault. He defends with Kudaka. I guess it just no need to lose the honor. Sir Voltar can just send him home, but unless you can break, that doesn't matter. You still get the bow effect you wanted, which is fine. Oh, and Cute Nakoma to bow to medium. Okay, we see Against the Waves come up to counteract the Cute Nakoma. I don't believe this is going to be the end that Sir Voltar is predicting. Airbing is the obvious choice to gain some kind of advantage here for next turn. Sir Voltar can dishonor, Kiseki can honor, and then nothing changes. Yeah, it is not in Sir Voltar's interest to trigger dishonorable assault. There's a little bit of discussion on Baby. Apparently Baby was making some noise. I don't think anyone can fault a Baby for making noise. They don't know what they're doing. Sir Voltar lets it go. Kiseki probably also going to let it go. Oh, we see a soup storm. That will definitely do it. No more censures. No one present to defend the honor. And it looks like that the necromantic ways of the lion will carry the day. Oh, it looks like their audio failed on their Discord chat. Yep, they were having audio issues, so that probably explains some of the chit-chat back and forth. Pretty sure this is game. I don't think there's any way to swing for more force when you have no fate. Sir Voltar throws away a blade of 10,000 battles to summon Kudaka. Kudaka, being the pirate she is, I don't think she cares. And I believe that is all she wrote. Kiseki's going to pass. Sir Voltar also probably going to pass. And it looks like they have called the game because the game ended. Sorry, I was up refreshing my drink. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.